So friends, today I am going to explain The Conjuring 4, that is, The Conjuring Lost movie, which was recently released. Let's talk about it. Don't talk about the rating yet, it will be much better. And yes, this is the last movie of the Conjuring franchise. Don't expect any other movie to come after it because it is clear that this is the last movie. So let's go straight to the video without any delay. So the movie starts with the case of April 20th, 1964, that is, from 1964 when Warren started her paranormal investigation journey. It happens at an antiques and vintage shop where a girl named Victoria had called Warren's. Victoria tells that here my father heard some sounds in the storeroom and hanged himself. Now at the beginning, Victoria did not believe in paranormal things, but after a few days of silence, Victoria also started hearing strange sounds. She felt like someone was calling her from the storeroom. Now just Lorraine goes straight to the storeroom where she sees an antique and ancient mirror that seemed evil from the very sight. There were 4 strange little child creatures on it. The disturbing thing is that Lorraine was pregnant here. Now Lorraine suddenly feels something here, and as soon as she opens the mirror, she sees that she is pregnant. When Lorraine touches the glass, she realizes that there is a spirit here who is scared, but then Lorraine also feels something evil. Suddenly, a crack appeared on the glass and Lorraine feels the ghost of her child and herself. The lights appear. It seemed that the baby of it was marked by a demonic power. Now suddenly Lorraine starts having severe pain in her stomach and Ed gets her admitted to Trinity Hospital. It was raining heavily outside, but what happens is that the baby is born male and Lorraine realizes that it is evil. The lights have also gone out there. All the doctors were scared. Now Lorraine prays to God and after a minute, the baby comes back to life, which is no less than a miracle. This baby is named Judy. Lorraine is the granddaughter of St. Lucy of and Wiel now, so the couple's survival was certain. Ishvar had listened to her, or it can be said that instead of Ishvar's power, someone else heard him indirectly. Well, Warren and everyone get away from this case, as Lorraine wanted to keep the couple safe. Now only then we get to see Jody's many childhood memories, how the Warrens shared many good moments with their daughter and solved more than 1,000 cases, but they never involved Jody in it, always trying to keep her away. The reason for this was that as we all know that Lorraine is a medium like Sister Irene, Jody also had the fear of seeing ghosts, spirits, evil and past moments since childhood. She comes to her mother in fear that she sees scary things, so Lorraine teaches her one thing: speak to Bombay like this, and if all this does not happen, then these things will run away, which makes Jody relax and she continues to do this even when she grows up. Well, now time passes by and the world was getting advanced. The year is 1986, that is, 1986 West Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We then see the Mold family who have bought a new house that was 2 stories high. Everyone is very happy. This scene looks exactly like the setup of the house in Conjuring 2. In terms of the number of members, it also reminds us of Conjuring 1, which was a very good reference. Then there are 9 members in total in this family. Jack's parents, John and Mary Moore, John's son-in-law, Jack and Janet's 4 daughters, whose names were Dawn Hayter, and the youngest 2 sisters, Shara and Karen, and 9 members. Here was their dog, whose name was Simon Abeder's Buddha, and his grandfather, John, bought him an antique mirror perch, which was shockingly the same as the one in the opening scene, that is, the one with Lorraine Warren. In fact, it was still there until the crack. And it was very crap. John said that he got it for a very cheap price. The people who were selling it didn't come in their car. But now, those people are ready to redo it. It must have caused some kind of disaster. Now Hayter was about to cut the cake, but then suddenly someone else puts it out and the ceiling breaks and falls down, which hurts Hayter a lot. That is, evil showed his power right away. He didn't wait at all. In the rest of the movies, these things happen gradually, but here it happens suddenly. Well, only then do we see a warning that this is the most dangerous true betrayal of Bourne's, who had even ended Warren's career. They leave because the times were moving forward a lot, so people didn't believe in these things. The biggest thing was that since Ed had a heart attack, they stopped taking cases. Well, now the Warrens go to dinner together, but suddenly both Jared and Lorraine feel that something has woken up. The haunting increases and someone from Jared's shoulder touches her. But she tries to stay calm. Both of them sing a loud mantra and mother and daughter are trying to protect both things, because she doesn't want them to collide with any evil. Inside, a doll named Saudi starts jumping, which was a Toon Sisters doll. Then Janet, who is the one who is washing clothes, but suddenly within 20 minutes, she feels someone's presence. This doll was also scaring her inside her room. Then when she is the one who is the joint, she was talking to someone on the phone, someone called from the pantry. Now suddenly someone pulls the phone inside, but when she turns on the gentle light, there was no one there, from which the journey it was released. Now the next haunting happens. Susie, along with one of the Toon Sisters, suddenly levitates in the air, behind which was an idol of an old grandmother, from which the girl runs away in fear. Now Jeb comes back from work at night and the girl was telling everyone about this haunting, but no one believes her, but Janet knew deep down that there was something here. Everyone thought that the grandmother must have played such a joke, but we know that it was nothing like that. The ghost of the woman was someone else. Then we see Hader and Dawn, who were talking to her. Hader tells her that she does not like this mirror and has been having some kind of problem since she came here. Dawn makes fun of Hader in return, saying that she also looks exactly like the people who are made of mirrors. But despite making fun of her, she is still a sister. She helps Hader and picks up the mirror at night and throws it in the garbage heap outside. They feel that bad things have been accumulating since the mirror came. Unfortunately, the next morning, when everyone is having breakfast, everyone is quite happy, but then a garbage truck comes outside and starts taking the mirror. Now, as soon as the trunk of the garbage truck closes, this mirror piece breaks in it. But the evil of Villeneuve does not go away like that. Suddenly, Dawn starts vomiting blood and the pieces of mirror fall out. They were broken, their ego started coming out of their mouths, meaning that evil was indirectly scolding them here that they were nothing compared to his power and that they should not be too oversmart. The Samrel family took Tarantai Dawn to the hospital and this was the first moment from which the Martish family started to believe that there must be an evil hiding inside this house. We still see Ed in the hospital where Dr. clearly tells him that Ed will not be able to have another heart attack and that he will have to change his lifestyle and food, but Ed, being Ed, does not listen to the doctor. Now Jody had told her parents about her boyfriend Tony that he would come to the birthday party and that they had been dating for 6 months, but there was a big party at home. Jody and Tony came together, where Tony looked quite nervous. Now we also see Father Gordon inside the party, who was very close to the Warrens. He even forbade Jody from having his own daughter. Now Jody introduces Tony to Father Gordon through his mother and we find out that Tony was previously in the police but something happened that made him quit his job and now he is looking for a job. Now we see Ed who is showing his museum to some people but Tony was quite scared after seeing this from a distance. The family was a little different, then the couple is sitting alone in the room looking at photos of their past, looking at their childhood, but then they see a rocking chair that was rocking and on it was an Annabelle doll. The couple pulls themselves up again. Then Tony takes care of it. Now Tony and Judy are having a case, then Laura doesn't go there. The atmosphere of the story now Lorraine is the one who actually came to invite Tony to play Ten's table. Now Tony goes to Ed's place, but Lorraine talks to Jody about why the hauntings are happening so frequently these days. They are also so dangerous. Jody doesn't say anything, but Lorraine asks, "Son, stay away from these things. They ruin your life." Even Lorraine herself gives him a present. Now, we see Ed and Tony playing a game of table tennis outside. Ed beats Tony by 3 points. But Ed's condition had deteriorated considerably. His heart had become quite weak. Well, now the Jody goes out for a while. But then, we see Tony talking to Warren. He loves Jody very much. He has brought a ring for the wedding. He wants to propose. Lorraine was very happy to see the ring. In fact, she even touched Tony's hand. According to BBC Weld, Tony really loves his daughter and she was ready for marriage, but Ed was still skeptical, so he doesn't tell her that he bought the ring too quickly when he met Jody. He knew that she was one. Lauren was quite shy and happy that they had also gotten married like that, but Ed used to choose SC for his daughter. This is a thing that happened in childhood after he loved his daughter very much. With a bang, we see the character Max from Conjuring 1, who was with Jodie and now just before Jodie, the ring somehow falls down and the environment has become a proposal without wanting it, which makes Jodie happy and say yes. She has been waiting for this moment for a long time, but what Ed does is still nothing. Sometimes we take Father Gordon away from the Warrens' house, but Father Golden had come to the party to have a special talk, and that was about the Solid family. He had been going to the jail for hauntings for many months, and the small family had talked to some ghost. Then he told Father Gordon that he had come to the Warrens' house. Ed had already prepared himself, but he would not be involved in all this. Now Father Gordon, disappointed, had to leave, saying that he must think about it. Now Sean came straight to the small family's house, where the trouble had increased considerably. Jack, who used to be, now came home at night, but now his fee had been reduced. The whole family was scared. Dawn had been very scared since the last vomiting accident. She even asked her address why they couldn't stay in a hotel or somewhere else, but they didn't have enough money, and this evil force wouldn't let them go anywhere. But the biggest thing was that this evil was only harming them, scaring them, not killing them, because if he had to kill them, he would have ended the game anyway. Now at night, when everyone is sleeping, suddenly some evil force starts levitating Jack in the air and starts choking his throat. The scene is exactly like the scene in The Conjuring. Well, then Hader was watching the video tip of her bad day and the confirmation day, so she watched it with a base, which made her see an entity by her side who had blown out those candles. And now what happened was that the entity, that is, this big-haired man with an axe, starts cutting Hader. Hader runs very fast. Now she breaks down and sees that someone was finishing off Jack. Well, now Janet, who is the one, saves Jeb, and following the sounds coming down, they all go to see Hader. Hader was very scared, and just then everyone went down to sprinkle salt on the burnt. She scolds him, saying that now it happened to everyone. Then I became sure that I was not lying, and what happened now? Janet and Jack go to the media, due to which this case spreads everywhere like wildfire. Everyone is told how such hauntings happen in a family, and those people are facing death-like scenes every day. Now they are Warren Joe. Now Warrens has not seen this news yet, and the couple's marriage was fixed, and they go to the designer of the brand name that closes the news. Go inside it. Now the Branda takes the pair after putting on the dress inside the changing room to check that, and Branda go outside because his assistant was not picking up the phone. Now it was covered from all sides from the room mirror. Suddenly, the pair starts to feel someone's presence there, so someone opens the gate and comes in. She hides in the dress and comes out, so the same shocking was of the old lady who was inside this model family. That is, she starts to turn towards the liar. She also touches the pair, but she leaves with the slogan of Akar but Kerbam. But suddenly the estuary sees that the evil version of her is choking her through the glass, as if the pair was quite scared, and then Lorraine and Brenda come in, and Lorraine is quite scared because of this, because there were no such lips in the media. All this business is going on inside, and we see that Mary Janet i.e. Key Jack's mother had a heart attack. She is taken to the hospital. Then they come to help the father-governed church without telling the Solid Parivar, which is straight. They were coming from Connecticut. They go to the basement and sprinkle holy water, so the water that happens becomes aborted, which confirms that there was something here, from which they can see something. They come out in fear and say this. There is a very evil thing here, and they meet with Tarney Bishop to solve this case.